Hey y'all, Jamie here. Proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off? Well, I was biting a dick in my mouth. Sorry to be blunt, but that's what was happening. I was pulling a trick in New Orleans in 1991, the spring of 1991, early spring of 1991. And we were parked on Esplanade Avenue, not far from my apartment. And this man kept trying to wrap his hand in my hair and force my head down on him. And I warned him. He didn't listen, y'all. When I say something, especially if I tell you I'm about to go off, like take me seriously because, 9 times out of 10, I'm very, very, very serious. So, yeah, I bit. I bit until my teeth touched and my mouth, I tasted blood, just blood all in my mouth. If any of you have ever seen the movie Home Alone, okay, when the burglars come into the little boy's house, little Macaulay Calkin's house, and the one burglar like falls down the steps from the attic and the tarantula falls on his face and he screams like a bitch. Yeah, like a shriek. That's what this man did. And understandably so. I did not bite it off, first of all. It did not get bitten off. I was not Lorena Bobbitt. I was not the first Lorena Bobbitt. Um, but I tell you what, motherfucker carries a scar from me. If he's still alive, he carries a scar from me to this day on each side because, yeah, it broke skin on both sides deeply. So, yeah, it messed him up. He told me later on, like, he apologized. Actually, he apologized like a year or two later, but he did tell me that I scarred him, and it took a while for that to heal and like things to go back to normal. Yeah. Listen, I warned him. Don't when somebody tells you don't force my head down on your dick, don't force their head down on your dick. It's very simple etiquette, people. So anyway, me and Bobby Joe are living up the single girl life at this time, right? And you know, listen, Miss Bobby Joe back in the day loved her some cocktails, honey. Not saying I didn't, but she loved her some cocktails, honey. And she introduced me to the tradition of waking me up to a Greyhound, which is vodka and grapefruit for any of you that don't know. And she would wake me up to a Greyhound every morning and be like, well, morning, I say morning. Listen, our mornings were like noon, 1 o'clock. And she would wake me up with a cocktail in my face, talking about, here, girl, hair of the dog. And it would start the next day all over again. Utter insanity. All we did was go out and party. All we did was turn dates. We ran the streets. You know, David and Mickey, listen, who knows what they were up to? I'm sure they were up to no good. Listen, I'm not stupid. They were not. They were up to no good, but they were still chasing around behind us too and things. Don't get me wrong. So there's this one trick that used to come into the quarter, y'all. And I remember him picking me up during this time and on a regular basis, actually. Like he became a real regular of mine, and all the dolls in New Orleans knew him. He was known as the Panty Man. And the Panty Man drove this little car around and he would cruise by, and if he would stop and like, and you'd go get in the car and he would want you to get in the back seat, okay? And then he loved it if you had on a skirt because he would sit there and you would drive around New Orleans and he would look in the rearview mirror and he would want you to like tease him opening your legs and stuff in the rearview mirror while he just yanked his little self silly. Um, and so, yeah, he became a little regular of mine during that time. And Panty Man had a little fantasy. He wanted me to have sex with him wearing his wife's wedding dress. I don't know if he ever discussed that fantasy with any other girls, but that was one that he discussed with me. He really, really wanted to see me in her wedding dress. But so yeah, that was Panty Man, and there was another guy that was running around during that time, and I had known him since since I was probably 17. He was a very well-known New Orleans police officer named Eddie. Not Eddie Murphy. Listen, Eddie Murphy was when I was 19 in Hollywood. No, this guy's name was. The problem is if I say his real last name, then I'm like really putting it out there. But anyway, his name was Eddie, and he was a high-ranking cop in New Orleans, and all the dolls knew him, and he was a freak. In fact, when I was 18 and I tricked with him one time, he offered to buy me my breast implants, my first set of breast implants. But he said, if I buy them for you, you have to live with me. And when you leave, the implants stay. I was like, nah, Eddie, I'm good. I'll wait. I'm good. And so anyway, cut to 91 when I'm 20 going on 21, about to turn 21. And Eddie picks me up one night and he's drunk. And we get into his unmarked car. He has an unmarked car. He has a few cars, but this was his unmarked police car. And it was very obviously an unmarked police car, like a black Crown Victoria or some shit. And so he picks me up in the quarter and he's like, come on, Jamie, come to my house with me. And I'm like, oh, Eddie, all the way to your house. Can't we go over to my apartment? And he was like, no, 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 come with me to my house. And I'm like, you're drunk, Eddie. So y'all, we get in his car and we're on the I-10 going out to Metairie to go to his house, right? And he's digging in between my legs with his hand the whole way, just drunk as a fucking skunk, digging between my legs, trying to dig for gold, honey. And he's digging so hard, and I'm telling him, Eddie, pay attention. Eddie, pay attention. He's digging so hard, the son of a bitch runs off the road, slap into a fence, into a ditch off the I-10, slap into a fence with the front end crunched, with his hand stuck between my legs. And if y'all want to know what happened next, y'all know the routine with my nutty ass life. Be here tomorrow, and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.